Okay, so I've got no idea what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to see what comes up. When we're talking about this, whatever this life is, this being or presence, awareness, it doesn't really matter what you call it, because that's just a word, a language, a concept. But what I'm pointing to is existence or being, and it still fascinates me how very few people are drawn towards a resonance into trying to understand what this is, who we are, why we're here, what we're doing. And the majority of people just seem to go about the day without even questioning it, really. And I think here there's always been a pull towards trying to understand what this life is, even from a young child. But it's only been, I would say, the last few months to a year in the story I've had glimpses or awakenings, if you like, and time isn't real. Only this, what's happening right now, it's just this. This is everything. When I say this, I just mean whatever's happening. Without time, there's no thoughts. So thoughts of the past or the future. I'm not saying they don't happen here, but it's become very clear and obvious that it's just stories, it's just thoughts. See, the appearances seem to change, but this doesn't change. So I don't know how it's seen here, but I don't know how to explain this, but all the appearances that seem to change and move, there's like an understanding here that it doesn't move or it doesn't change. It's always just this, and there's not another this. There never has been another this, or there'll never be another this. There's only this. So this is brand new. It's fresh. But it also dies at the same time. One of the biggest realizations or the glimpses that I had was there's no one inside the bodies. When that's seen, the idea of choice or free will does seem to appear real, but it's not. There's no one doing anything. and that can seem totally bizarre or false to many people. They just can't comprehend that that's possible. And it can terrify some people also. But at the same time, it can be very liberating. There's a freedom in that. You actually don't need to do anything. Things will just get done. So the body doesn't need you. The body will do what it needs to do without the neurotic behavior of the imagined self. I mean, sometimes the way I see it is that this that's always here is just it's like just one piece. There's nothing separate, and there's no inside or outside. It's just whole and complete. And anything that you think or imagine, it is not here. This is everything. There's nothing outside of this other than your thoughts, you thinking that there is. It's all just appearances. Whether it's a bird flying past or a sound of anything, it just comes and goes. You don't need to be there for that to happen. So if you have been identified with thoughts of the past and consumed with thoughts of the future, it can be quite stressful, that. But it's unnecessary. I mean, it's not. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the thoughts of the past or the future. And they still happen here. But they're not real. There's no, you don't have to latch onto it and create a whirlwind of stories about any thoughts that pop up. It doesn't matter what thoughts arise. I mean, even the most stressful or disgusting thoughts, it doesn't matter. They're not your thoughts. And when it's seen that time isn't real, thoughts are the singular anyway. They're just, as soon as they come, as soon as they go, well, that's it. They're gone. This is brand new. This has no beginning. It has no end. But it's not even continuous. There is a relaxation and a liberation to it. But sometimes there's a not knowing what to do, a boredom, and there's nothing right or wrong with anything, any emotions or feelings that arise. That's just what's happening. When it was first seen here, it was a bit concerning, to be honest, because I was so used to being identified with a person and the story. But I'd say it's more of a relaxation here now, and an acceptance to being okay with not knowing. So there's no answers, and you're never going to know what this is. The person can never know what this is. No one knows what this is. Because there's just this. Who could know it? I mean, I don't talk to my friends or family about this. If you have been around the non-duality topics or talks, it's not really something you want to bring up to somebody who is fully identified with being a person. It doesn't seem to hit or land well with that person. That's why I think platforms like YouTube are quite useful to connect with other people that may resonate. It certainly helped me. So I'm not denying the self in terms of the story, I have a career and a wife and boys, and the story's there. I can pull up memories of the past and plan for the future. It's just the same. But what's happened is that there's a recognition that this is all there is. And that time is a mental construct. That's all. And when time is seen through, when the illusion of time is seen through, then the person, the self, collapses with that. Because the self is time. Time is self. They're both pretty much the same thing. So there is no next. That thing that you're waiting for, or the plans that you have, I'm not saying they're not going to happen, but they may also not happen, because the future is imagined. It is a fantasy. And if you can rest in this being that you are, whatever it is, then there is a relaxation. It's alive, very vibrant, bursting with life, as opposed to only experiencing it with the clouded thoughts of the past and the future. Everything is in plain sight. There's nothing else. This is everything. And if anyone has watched all the previous videos and any likes or comments, it is appreciated. Because I don't really know why I'm doing these videos. It's just there seems to be an enjoyment or a pull towards doing these videos. This one was totally spontaneous. I had no idea it was coming. It was just put my phone there and click record, and away we go. So no one knows what's next, because there is no next. Which is so strange here, because I suffered with anxiety a lot through my career, through plans and goals, always needing to achieve the next thing. And when it's really seen that there's no next, it's quite disorientating. Because the mind does still do that, it's still thinking about the next, but deep down there is no next. And I don't know about you, but it's become really clear now that there's nobody has any answers. Nobody knows what this is. I'm not teaching anything here or giving any instructions or advice about what to do. I'm just talking about this. You can't teach or give advice about what already is. This is done. It's whole and complete. As I said, it's brand new. This has never happened before. It'll never happen again. Nothing's gonna happen. There's only this. Nothing's ever happened. There's only this. Now, the appearance of things that have happened in the past can show up as a memory or a thought, but that's all it is. Even if you look around your home and you look at a photograph of and then a memory will play out about that. You know, that this happened 5 years ago and we was in this place. But that's just a thought appearing in this. And it's the same with your projected thoughts of the future. You know, you might be thinking about what you're going to be doing at 5 o'clock this evening, or what you're going to be doing in 2 weeks' time. But it's just an imagination in this. It's always just this. And there isn't another version of this, because this is everything. Everything that exists is in plain sight, always.